Have you ever had the quiet feeling that there is something within you that cannot be explained by ordinary life? A subtle energy, a silent awareness, as if your soul is listening to a rhythm that the world around you cannot quite hear. While many people move through life focused only on routines, responsibilities, and visible realities, there are some who feel an undeniable pull toward something deeper, toward the unseen layers of existence that whisper beneath the surface of everyday experience. Perhaps you have felt it during moments of uncanny synchronicity, when events align in ways that seem too meaningful to be coincidence. Or maybe you have experienced an unspoken connection with nature, where the wind, the stars, or the stillness of the forest feels strangely familiar, almost like a forgotten language your soul somehow remembers. These moments may appear fleeting, yet they often leave a lasting impression, stirring a quiet question within. Why do I experience the world this way? Throughout human history, certain individuals have carried a unique sensitivity to the deeper fabric of reality. Their minds perceive patterns others overlook. Their hearts feel emotions that extend beyond their own experiences. Their intuition seems to guide them toward truths that cannot always be explained through logic alone. These individuals are often described as rare spiritual souls, people whose inner world resonates with the subtle rhythm of the universe in ways that are both mysterious and profound. They rarely announce themselves. In fact, many of them move through life quietly, sometimes even feeling different or misunderstood. Yet their presence leaves an unmistakable imprint. Through empathy, intuition, and deep awareness, they bring a subtle but powerful influence to the world around them. In this video, we will gently peel back the layers of the ordinary to explore 7 unusual signs that may reveal whether you carry this rare spiritual essence within you. From the quiet whispers of intuition to the powerful depth of emotional awareness, each sign offers a glimpse into a dimension of the human soul that few truly recognize. So take a moment, breathe, and open your mind. Because as we journey deeper into these signs, you may begin to realize that what once felt strange or unexplained about you might actually be the very thing that makes your soul extraordinary. Sign 1. Synchronity. Have you ever experienced a moment so perfectly timed that it made you pause and wonder if it could truly be a coincidence? Perhaps you kept seeing the same number again and again throughout the day. Maybe you thought about someone you hadn't spoken to in years, only for them to suddenly reach out to you. Or you stumbled upon a message, a book, or a conversation that answered a question you had been silently carrying within your heart. To many people, these moments appear random or insignificant, but for the rare spiritual soul, they hold a far deeper meaning. In the language of psychology and spirituality, these moments are known as synchronicities, meaningful coincidences that seem to connect events in ways that logic alone cannot fully explain. They feel like the universe offering a subtle wink, and a quiet reminder that life may be guided by a deeper intelligence and harmony beyond what the eyes can immediately see. For rare spiritual souls, synchronicities are not isolated occurrences. Instead, they form a delicate thread that weaves through the fabric of their lives. These individuals possess an extraordinary sensitivity to the interconnected nature of existence. They sense that every moment carries a hidden layer of meaning, and that events are often linked together in ways that reveal a greater pattern unfolding behind the scenes. Because of this awareness, they begin to notice details that others might easily overlook. Repeating numbers appearing on clocks, receipts, or license plates. Unexpected meetings with familiar faces in unlikely places. Messages that arrive at precisely the moment they are needed most, sometimes through a stranger, a song, or even a passing phrase that suddenly resonates with profound clarity. For them, these moments feel less like coincidence and more like whispers from the cosmos, gently guiding their attention. What truly distinguishes the rare spiritual soul is not simply that these events occur, but that they possess a deep, intuitive ability to interpret them. While others might dismiss such experiences as random chance, they sense that something meaningful is being communicated. Each synchronistic moment becomes a symbolic signpost along the path of life, offering reassurance, direction, or illumination exactly when it is needed. At times, a brief conversation with a stranger may unlock the answer to a question that has lingered in their mind for years. On other occasions, a series of seemingly unrelated events may gradually align, revealing a deeper truth about their life's purpose or the direction they are meant to follow. When these moments occur, time itself can seem to pause, and the boundary between the material world and the spiritual dimension feels momentarily transparent. Because of this, rare spiritual souls often move through life with a profound sense of curiosity and wonder. They become attentive to the subtle rhythms of the universe, sensing that destiny unfolds not through force, but through an elegant dance of timing, awareness, and connection. For them, synchronicity is not merely an interesting phenomenon, it is a sacred dialogue with the universe, and a reminder that they are never truly walking alone on their journey. With every synchronistic encounter, they are gently reminded of their connection to something far greater than themselves, a guiding presence that quietly shapes their path with grace, wisdom, and purpose as they continue their journey of spiritual evolution. Before we move on to the next sign, take a moment to reflect on your own life. Have you ever experienced a coincidence that felt too perfectly timed to be random? A repeated number, a message that arrived exactly when you needed it, or an unexpected meeting that somehow changed your direction? If this resonates with you, share your experience in the comments. We would truly love to hear your story. And if this insight speaks to you, please take a moment to like the video so it can reach others who may also be awakening to these subtle signs. You can also simply type, "I am open to the signs of the universe," in the comments as a way of acknowledging that quiet connection between your soul and the greater flow of life. Now let's continue and explore the next powerful sign that may reveal the presence of a rare spiritual soul. Sign 2. The urge to explore the unknown. For the rare spiritual soul, everyday life is rarely enough to satisfy the deeper questions stirring within the heart. While many people feel comfortable staying within the familiar boundaries of routine, certainty, and what can easily be explained, these individuals often sense that life contains far greater mysteries waiting to be discovered. To them, the ordinary world feels less like a final destination and more like the starting point of a much larger journey. Deep within their consciousness, there exists an almost irresistible pull toward the unknown. It is not driven by simple curiosity, but by a profound longing to understand the hidden dimensions of existence. This quiet inner call beckons them like a distant melody, subtle yet impossible to ignore. It invites them to look beyond the surface of reality and explore the deeper layers of consciousness that lie just beyond ordinary perception. Unlike those who find comfort in certainty, rare spiritual souls are often drawn toward questions that have no easy answers. They feel compelled to explore the mysteries of the mind, the soul, and the unseen forces that shape human experience. For them, the unknown is not something to fear. It is something sacred, a vast landscape of awareness waiting patiently to be explored. In response to this inner calling, many rare spiritual souls begin to explore practices that expand their perception of reality. Some turn to ancient traditions such as meditation, yoga, contemplation, or spiritual philosophy, disciplines that have guided seekers for thousands of years. Others explore more modern pathways into consciousness, such as lucid dreaming, deep introspection, or even the mysterious phenomenon of astral awareness. Through these practices, they attempt to move beyond the limitations of the physical senses and discover the deeper dimensions of the human spirit. But this journey is not merely about gathering knowledge. It is a process of transformation. With each step into the unknown, rare spiritual souls begin to peel away the layers of illusion that often cloud ordinary understanding. They question assumptions, examine beliefs, and gradually uncover truths about reality that many people never take the time to explore. Yet this path is not without its challenges. Exploring the depths of consciousness requires courage, resilience, and a willingness to confront aspects of oneself that may be uncomfortable or even frightening. Within the subconscious mind lie hidden fears, unresolved emotions, and shadow aspects of the self that must be acknowledged before true growth can occur. Rare spiritual souls understand that genuine awakening requires facing these inner shadows with honesty and compassion. For this reason, they become fearless explorers of the inner world. Rather than avoiding darkness, they seek to understand it. Rather than rejecting uncertainty, they learn to embrace it as part of the process of discovery. Every challenge becomes another step toward deeper awareness. Despite the difficulties they may encounter, rare spiritual souls are guided by a powerful sense of purpose. They feel that their journey into the unknown is not merely personal, it carries a deeper significance. It is a sacred pilgrimage toward the realization of their true nature as conscious spiritual beings connected to the vast intelligence of the universe. And as they continue this journey, something remarkable begins to happen. Their courage and insight naturally inspire others. Without even intending to, they become quiet beacons of light, showing those around them that it is possible to explore life with curiosity, depth, and spiritual courage. For the rare spiritual soul, the journey never truly ends. The mysteries of existence are too vast to ever be fully understood. Instead, life becomes a continuous exploration, an eternal dance with the unknown, guided by the timeless search for truth, wisdom, and enlightenment. Sign 3. The ability to transform oneself through challenges. In the journey of life, every person encounters moments of hardship, loss, and uncertainty. Yet what distinguishes a rare spiritual soul from others is not the absence of these challenges, but the remarkable way they transform them. Like ancient alchemists working patiently within the fires of a sacred laboratory, rare spiritual souls possess the ability to turn the raw materials of their experiences into something far more valuable: wisdom, compassion, and profound inner understanding. In traditional symbolism, alchemy was the mystical process of transforming base metals into gold. But at a deeper spiritual level, this ancient art has always represented the transformation of the human spirit itself. Rare spiritual souls instinctively understand this hidden meaning, and they recognize that every experience, whether joyful or painful, contains the potential for growth, insight, and spiritual evolution. To them, adversity is not simply something to avoid or fear. Instead, it becomes a sacred catalyst. Life's struggles are seen as the crucible in which the soul is refined and strengthened. Rather than resisting difficulty, these individuals learn to face it with courage, patience, and resilience, knowing that within moments of suffering often lie the seeds of profound transformation. Deep within their awareness, rare spiritual souls understand an important truth. Genuine spiritual growth is not measured by how much pain a person avoids, but by the depth of wisdom and compassion that emerges through the experience of that pain. Each challenge becomes an opportunity to look inward, to examine the deeper layers of the self, and to illuminate the hidden corners of the psyche. This process often requires confronting the shadow, the unresolved fears, doubts, and emotional wounds that reside within the subconscious mind. Many people spend their lives avoiding these aspects of themselves, but rare spiritual souls approach them with honesty and compassion. By bringing awareness to these hidden parts of their inner world, they begin the powerful work of transformation. Through this inner alchemy, something extraordinary begins to occur. The heavy weight of suffering, the lead of difficult experiences, slowly transforms into the gold of wisdom and enlightenment. Pain gives birth to empathy. Confusion evolves into clarity. Struggle becomes the foundation for strength and insight. With every experience they encounter, rare spiritual souls move one step further along the path of self-discovery. Each moment, whether joyful or challenging, becomes a sacred offering, another opportunity to understand themselves more deeply and to awaken to the true nature of their being. Yet this process of transformation is not purely personal. Rare spiritual souls often sense a profound connection with the larger human family. They recognize that their inner growth contributes to the collective awakening of humanity itself. As they transform their own struggles into wisdom, they naturally begin to extend compassion and understanding to others who may still be navigating their own difficulties. In a world that can sometimes feel overwhelmed by confusion and darkness, their presence becomes quietly powerful. Through their resilience, empathy, and insight, they become guiding lights, living examples of the truth that transformation is always possible. Emerging from the fires of life's challenges, rare spiritual souls carry a radiant sense of wisdom and grace. They embody a timeless truth known across many spiritual traditions, that the greatest growth often arises not from comfort, but from adversity. And through their journey, they remind others of something extraordinary, that deep within every human being lies the same hidden power, the ability to transform life's heaviest burdens into the pure gold of awareness, compassion, and spiritual awakening. Sign 4. The realization that time is merely an illusion. For most people, time feels like a strict ruler of life. It ticks forward relentlessly, dividing existence into past memories, present responsibilities, and future expectations. Calendars, schedules, and deadlines seem to define the rhythm of daily living. Yet for the rare spiritual soul, time is experienced in a very different way. Rather than seeing it as a rigid sequence of moments marching endlessly forward, they begin to sense that time is far more fluid, almost like a current that shifts and bends according to the depth of their awareness. To these individuals, time is not merely a measurement marked by clocks or dates. Instead, it feels like a flexible dimension of consciousness itself. While many people remain psychologically trapped between regrets about the past and worries about the future, rare spiritual souls gradually learn to step outside this linear way of experiencing life. They discover a deeper state of awareness where the boundaries between past, present, and future begin to soften and dissolve. In this state of heightened awareness, life unfolds within what can only be described as the eternal now. The past is no longer a heavy collection of regrets, mistakes, or nostalgia that weighs on the mind. The future likewise loses its power to generate anxiety and endless anticipation. Instead, these souls begin to recognize that every moment, every thought, feeling, and experience is part of a larger tapestry woven into the continuous unfolding of the soul's journey. And at the heart of this realization lies a powerful insight. The present moment is the gateway to spiritual awakening. When rare spiritual souls fully enter the present moment, they find refuge from the constant mental noise that dominates much of human life. The mind's endless commentary, its worries, comparisons, and distractions, begins to quiet. In that silence, a remarkable sense of peace emerges. Past regrets fade into the background, and future uncertainties lose their emotional grip. What remains is a deep sense of stillness, clarity, and presence. However, living in the present moment does not happen automatically. For rare spiritual souls, cultivating presence becomes an intentional and disciplined practice. Through meditation, mindfulness, deep breathing, or quiet contemplation, and they gradually train their awareness to return again and again to the now. Each breath becomes an anchor, gently guiding their attention away from mental noise and back into the living reality of the present. As they deepen this practice, something extraordinary begins to unfold. By releasing their attachment to the rigid structure of time, they open themselves to a deeper flow of creativity, intuition, and insight. Inspiration appears more naturally. Wisdom arises without force. Life begins to feel less like a race against time and more like a harmonious movement within it. In this state of presence, rare spiritual souls often become channels for something greater than themselves. Their minds grow clearer, their hearts more open, and their actions more aligned with a deeper intelligence that flows through existence itself. Through art, a kindness, ideas, or simple presence, they allow this deeper energy to express itself in countless forms of beauty and truth. And perhaps most importantly, their way of living becomes quietly inspiring to others. By embodying the power of presence, they remind those around them that peace is not hidden in some distant future nor buried in the past. It exists right here, within the stillness of this very moment. For the rare spiritual soul, time gradually loses its power as a controlling force. In its place emerges a timeless awareness, an understanding that beyond the illusion of time lies the infinite richness of the present, where life is always unfolding in its purest and most awakened form. Sign 5. Dreams are gateways to other dimensions. For many people, dreams are little more than fleeting images, strange fragments of the mind that fade quickly after waking. They are often dismissed as random thoughts or the brain's way of processing daily experiences. But for the rare spiritual soul, dreams hold a far deeper significance. Rather than meaningless illusions, they are experienced as profound gateways into other dimensions of consciousness, where the soul is free to explore realities beyond the limitations of the physical world. These individuals often experience dreams with remarkable clarity and depth. Their dream world is vivid, symbolic, and sometimes even lucid, meaning they are aware that they are dreaming while the experience is unfolding. In these moments, dreams feel less like passive stories and more like journeys into an inner universe filled with meaning, insight, and discovery. Through these nocturnal explorations, rare spiritual souls gain glimpses into the vast and mysterious landscape of the soul's evolution. Within the realm of dreams, they begin to recognize that each image and event carries symbolic meaning. Dreams become a bridge between the conscious mind and the deeper layers of the psyche, including the subconscious and what psychologists often describe as the collective unconscious. In this space, ancient archetypes, universal symbols, and powerful emotions arise in the form of stories, characters, and landscapes that seem to speak directly to the inner self. For rare spiritual souls, the key lies in understanding the symbolic language of dreams. Unlike ordinary language, and which communicates through logic and structured thought, The language of dreams communicates through metaphor, imagery, and feeling. A winding road may symbolize a life journey. A locked door may represent hidden potential. A mysterious guide may reflect inner wisdom waiting to be recognized. These symbols bypass the filters of the rational mind and communicate directly with the deeper intelligence of the soul. Because of this sensitivity, rare spiritual souls often become naturally drawn to the practice of dream work, the process of remembering, reflecting on, and interpreting the messages hidden within their dreams. Through journaling, meditation, or quiet contemplation, they begin to uncover the insights encoded within these experiences. Over time, dreams reveal patterns, emotional truths, and guidance that help illuminate their spiritual path. They come to understand that dreams are rarely random. Instead, they are meaningful expressions of the soul's journey, offering healing, direction, and deeper understanding. Sometimes a dream brings comfort during difficult times. At other moments, it reveals unresolved emotions that need attention or provides inspiration for creative ideas and spiritual growth. Within this dream realm, rare spiritual souls may even encounter symbolic figures, guides, teachers, or archetypal beings that seem to offer wisdom beyond their ordinary awareness. Whether these figures arise from the subconscious mind or from deeper dimensions of consciousness remains a mystery. Yet the guidance they offer often leaves a lasting impression that continues to shape the dreamer's waking life. Importantly, the journey does not end when morning arrives. Rare spiritual souls carry the wisdom of their dreams into the waking world. They reflect on what they have seen, integrate the insights they have received, and allow those revelations to influence their decisions, relationships, and spiritual development. In doing so, they create a bridge between two worlds, the visible world of everyday reality and the unseen realms of the inner mind. The messages received in dreams become threads woven into the fabric of waking life, guiding them toward deeper awareness and purpose. For the rare spiritual soul, dreaming is not simply a nightly escape from reality. It is a sacred exploration of consciousness, a mysterious doorway through which the soul continues its journey, discovering truths that quietly shape the path of awakening. Assign 6. Deep empathy. For the rare spiritual soul, empathy is not simply a personality trait. It is the guiding force that shapes how they move through the world. It flows through them like a quiet, steady river, nourishing their thoughts, actions, and relationships with compassion and understanding. Where others may observe emotions from a distance, these individuals experience them in a far deeper and more intimate way. Unlike sympathy, which often arises from a place of pity or emotional separation, empathy for the rare spiritual soul is something embodied. It is a direct and heartfelt connection with the emotional reality of another person. They do not simply recognize when someone is in pain, they can feel it. It is as if the invisible boundaries between themselves and others become softer, allowing them to sense the joys, struggles, and unspoken feelings that exist beneath the surface of everyday interactions. At the core of their nature lies a remarkable sensitivity to the subtle nuances of human emotion. Rare spiritual souls often possess an intuitive ability to read the quiet language of the heart. A shift in someone's tone, a brief change in expression, or a moment of silence in conversation can reveal emotional depths that many people fail to notice. Because of this, they navigate the complex landscape of human relationships with an unusual degree of awareness and grace. People often feel naturally drawn to them without fully understanding why. In their presence, others sense a genuine openness and acceptance, a safe space where emotions can be expressed without fear of judgment. Rare spiritual souls listen not only with their ears, but with their entire being. Their empathy becomes a healing presence, offering comfort to those who are struggling and reassurance to those who feel unseen or misunderstood. For these individuals, empathy is not passive. It becomes a guiding principle that illuminates their path through life. In a world that can sometimes feel divided by misunderstanding, conflict, and emotional distance, their compassion becomes a quiet beacon of light. Through simple acts of kindness, attentive listening, and sincere care, they help restore the sense of connection that many people long for. Yet their empathy extends far beyond human relationships alone. Rare spiritual souls often feel a deep emotional bond with all living beings. They sense the life flowing through nature, the quiet intelligence within forests, oceans, animals, and the earth itself. The suffering of the natural world does not feel distant to them. It resonates within their awareness just as strongly as the joy or pain of a loved one. This awareness leads them to recognize a profound truth. Every living being is part of a vast and interconnected web of existence. Each life, human, animal, or plant, forms a unique and valuable thread in the greater tapestry of creation. Because of this understanding, rare spiritual souls approach life with deep respect and compassion for all forms of existence. In a world often shaped by division and discord, their presence carries transformative power. Through empathy, they bridge emotional distances between people. Through compassion, they soften conflict and misunderstanding. Through genuine care, they remind others of the deep kinship that connects the entire human family. In this way, empathy becomes their North Star, guiding them through life with wisdom, kindness, and an unwavering commitment to connection. And through their example, they quietly show the world that one of the most powerful forces for healing and unity has always existed within the human heart. Sign 7. Nature is a refuge for the soul. For the rare spiritual soul, nature is far more than a place to relax or escape the routines of daily life. It becomes a sacred sanctuary, a living temple, where the boundary between the physical world and the spiritual realm feels remarkably thin. In the quiet presence of forests, mountains, oceans, and open skies, these individuals sense something deeper at work, as if the universe itself is speaking through the language of the natural world. To them, the rustling of leaves in the wind is not just a sound. It feels like a whisper of something divine. The gentle flow of a stream, the rhythm of waves against the shore, or the melodic chorus of birds at dawn becomes a kind of sacred symphony. Subtle reminders that life itself is part of a greater, harmonious intelligence. Within these natural spaces, rare spiritual souls often feel a profound sense of peace and belonging, as though they have returned to a place their spirit instinctively recognizes. Unlike those who view nature simply as scenery or a setting for recreation, these individuals perceive the natural world as a living expression of the sacred. Every tree, every flower, every creature becomes a manifestation of the deeper beauty and harmony that permeates the universe. In their eyes, the forest is not merely a collection of trees. It is a living community of life, interconnected and sustained by a delicate balance that reflects the intelligence of creation itself. When rare spiritual souls immerse themselves in nature, walking through a quiet forest clearing or gazing up at a sky filled with stars, they often experience a powerful sense of resonance with the rhythms of the earth. Standing among towering mountains or ancient trees, they feel a connection that goes beyond words. In those moments, they no longer experience themselves as separate observers of the natural world. Instead, they feel woven into its intricate web of life. This relationship with nature becomes deeply transformative. For these souls, nature is not only a place of beauty, but also a profound teacher. By observing the cycles of the seasons, the steady movement of tides, and the endless patterns unfolding in ecosystems, they begin to understand fundamental truths about life itself. And nature quietly demonstrates the wisdom of patience, the inevitability of change, and the power of balance. Through this communion with the natural world, rare spiritual souls also learn the sacred art of presence. In nature, the mind gradually slows, the distractions of modern life fade, and awareness returns to the simple reality of the present moment. The rustle of the wind, the warmth of sunlight, or the stillness of a quiet landscape gently reminds them to surrender to the timeless flow of existence and align themselves with the natural rhythms of creation. Yet their connection with nature does not end with appreciation alone. For the rare spiritual soul, there is also a deep sense of responsibility. They feel called to protect and care for the earth, recognizing that humanity is not separate from the planet but deeply intertwined with it. The health of the earth reflects the health of the human spirit, and the well-being of nature ultimately mirrors the well-being of humanity itself. Because of this awareness, rare spiritual souls often see themselves as stewards of the earth, guardians entrusted with preserving its beauty, balance, and vitality. By honoring and protecting the natural world, they understand that they are also nurturing something sacred within themselves. For them, nature is not simply a place to visit. It is a refuge, a teacher, and a living reminder of the profound unity that connects all forms of life. And within that sacred sanctuary, the soul quietly remembers its true place within the vast and beautiful tapestry of existence. As we reach the end of this exploration, one truth becomes clear. The journey of the rare spiritual soul is not defined by a single experience or one extraordinary ability. Instead, it unfolds as a rich tapestry woven from many threads: synchronicity, curiosity for the unknown, inner transformation, presence, dreams, empathy, and a deep reverence for nature. Each of these qualities reflects a different aspect of a deeper awakening that takes place within the human spirit. These signs are not meant to label or separate people. Rather, they serve as gentle reminders that within each of us lies the potential for profound awareness and spiritual growth. The rare spiritual soul simply lives with a heightened sensitivity to these deeper dimensions of existence. They listen more closely to the quiet whispers of intuition. They seek meaning within life's challenges. They recognize the sacred within the ordinary and feel connected to something far greater than themselves. If some of these signs resonated with you, perhaps it is not by accident. Perhaps there is a quiet part of your own soul that has always sensed there is more to life than what can be seen on the surface. The path of spiritual awareness is not reserved for a chosen few. It is an invitation extended to anyone willing to listen, reflect, and grow. The truth is that awakening does not happen all at once. It unfolds slowly, through moments of reflection, curiosity, and courage. Each insight, each challenge, and each act of compassion becomes another step along the path of self-discovery. And as we walk this path, we begin to realize that the universe has always been communicating with us through signs, through experiences, and through the quiet wisdom of the soul. So before you leave, take a moment to reflect on your own journey. Which of these signs spoke to you the most? Have you ever experienced synchronicities, vivid dreams, or an unusual connection with nature and empathy for others? Share your thoughts in the comments. We would truly love to hear your experiences. To mark your presence here today, type this sentence in the comments: "My soul is awakening to the wisdom of the universe." If this message resonated with you, please take a moment to like this video, share it with someone who might need to hear it, and help spread these ideas to others who may also be walking their own path of awakening. And don't forget to watch the next video on your screen, where we will continue exploring the hidden dimensions of consciousness and the deeper mysteries of the spiritual journey. Because sometimes, the answers we have been searching for have been quietly waiting within us all along.